This recipe calls for an apricot glaze. Now, I didn't actually look in the store to see if you could probably buy that. I'm sure you can, but why would I make it easy on myself? We're here to learn. I'll, of course, Google apricot glaze and put a nice little caption over exactly what that is. You probably, like I said, at this point you can probably buy it. What you do, I actually found these preserves at my local supermarket. They're actually from France and they're apricot preserves. What we're going to do is we're going to take this, I got 2 jars here because it'll actually keep once you make it, and I'm going to put this into a pot and we're going to boil it to 225 to 228 degrees. At that point it sort of becomes non-sticky and you can work with it as like a glaze, and we're just going to brush this over the end of our tart. That's what gives these tarts these really shiny, brilliant, glittery display or image, however you want to say. So we're going to need to do that. Also, what you do is you're going to take this, once it's boiled down, I'll put a pot in the sink, we'll pour it into the strainer, and we're just going to sort of work it through that strainer, get all the chunks and the skin out, so what we just have is the pure preserve. What we're going to do is you're going to take this. Now, you've probably seen it. They have little hand sieves. They're round that you can hold in your hand or put it over a jar. I don't have one. I do have a big one. We're going to take 2/3 cup. We're going to pour it into here in the sink, and I'm just going to work that through. I can actually do it right here. I'm going to work it through into a container or a bowl and catch it, and we're going to get all the chunks out of this so we just get the goodness. Now, the remainder of that, I'm going to put it on a pot in the stove, and we're going to boil that down, and we're going to sieve it as well, and we're going to use all of that for our apricot glaze. Okay, actually everything calls for this to be run through the sieve, so there's some big old chunks of apricot. It's a shame we're going to lose all that. It doesn't say to boil it down, it says run it through a sieve first. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to try to do that right now. We're going to try to get this out. I might save those apricots for something else. Now I'm going to go ahead and definitely, if you're doing this at home, save these containers, because we're just going to put it right back in. Now again, we just want to get the chunks out. So with this spatula, I'm just going to push it through the best I can. I probably shouldn't have put all of it in at the same time, obviously. Let's try a wooden spoon and see if that works any better than the spatula. Oh, I already have a feeling the wooden spoon is going to be much better. Oh yeah, you can see, if I lift it up, you can see down in there, it's already getting a lot of it. So, just going to work this through. I got 2 jars to go through, and then we're going to render it down a bit more on the stove. All right. We're getting to the end, the second jar here. I've surprisingly only made a minimal mess. We take the spatula and we're going to have the drippage coming off the bottom here. We want to definitely cut through that and get as much of that off as you can, because this is the good stuff. Like getting honey out of a honeycomb. And okay, I think I got a little over here. Oh yeah. We'll wash that strainer. That's probably going to be a fun job. But as you can see, now we have just a really nice apricot pre-glaze. I'm going to take 2/3 cup of this, and we're going to section that off for our recipe, and the rest we're going to turn into an apricot glaze. Okay, we're about ready to put the glaze onto the stove. I've taken off my 2/3 cup, or however how much I needed, and we have 1.5 cups left over. Now this will keep indefinitely, that's why I definitely made more. I don't need that much at all, probably maybe use 1/2 cup, But since I do have this, for every half cup, we need 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, as if it wasn't hot enough or sweet enough. Now we're going to put this in a saucepan over moderately high heat, and we're going to turn it until it just begins to really coat a spoon nicely. And you don't want to boil this, and if it gets over 225 to 228 degrees, it's going to get brittle and ruin when it's cold. So you need a candy thermometer. I don't have a candy thermometer, but I do have mini thermometers, which I will utilize. I just like being able to pull it from my sleeve. So let's get down to the stove and see what's cooking. All right. Okay, we're putting in our sugar. I'm going to take a wooden spoon. And again, I have moderately high heat. I'm just going to stir the sugar into this. And probably the hard part for me on this is going to be really monitoring the temperature. Hope you like the new camera angles. I'm trying a few different things today. Now, the nice thing, what I don't have is a candy thermometer, which we could just clip right on here, and it would make this a much easier task. Okay, said 208, 209. I'm hoping it'll cool down. I'm going to move it to the other burner, 211. And if it keeps going up here, nope, it's going down. Right. Like I said, we do not want to cross the 220 mark. Nope, I'm good. Now see how it's just, it's nicely coating a spoon, and the last few drops are getting sticky, which is exactly what we want. So that was it. Verify my temperature's going down. We are. Good. Okay, that's how you make the glaze. It was actually really quick. It's easy to do. It's cooling down nicely. You definitely want to apply this hot. Now again, it'll keep indefinitely, so go ahead and put it back into the jars. I went ahead and washed them off camera. I'm going to go ahead and pour them back in. What I don't use, just put in the fridge, and next tart we make, we're good to go, because she does use this a lot.